let me begin with the situation in China. I always say in geographic China, there are two Chinas. China has broken into two. One China has been gradually formed since 1989, Tiananmen Square incident, by the party officials and the capitalists and the intellectuals. So the Chinese government just formed China Incorporated, opened the share to the capitalists, including the foreign capitalists, to buy the share of China Inc. And also gave the free share to the intellectuals who dominate the discourse in China. Gradually, China Incorporated formed. So that's the Chinese government take pains to project to the outside world. So you only see this China from outside. So you see the faster growth, economic growth, and that growth, I think, is dazzling the whole world, making people believe one-party system is good for economic growth. But oftentimes, people overlook another China. The China consists of 1 billion Chinese ordinary people whose basic rights are being deprived. That's the environment we are facing in China. So, in my opinion, so the hope lies in the integration of these two China. But it's not just a simple integration, not an integration and a coerce. So we have to build up a common political language which is consistent with the universal values of human rights, and to build up a consensus between the citizens of two China with regard to what kind of China we will have. So I think for that we rely on citizen advocates. I think that's the single most important group in China, and we are doing a lot of things to help them to enlarge their public space in China. And internationally, we are facing a very difficult situation as well, because everybody thinks China is rising. The Chinese government has its military, economic power to exert to other countries in the world. So it seems like that many countries, including US, are relying on China for many other issues. So when we talk about human rights, people say, oh, it's good, but they always put it on the back seat. So that's the difficult situation we are facing. But I still have a hope, because democracy has intrinsic contradiction with the values that Chinese dictatorship is holding up. Sooner or later, there are going to be clash. You know, we already see a Google incident. In the past years, Google operated in China with a certain degree of cooperation with the Chinese government with regard to censorship. Just a few months ago, Google found that Chinese government, through Google's mails, trying to find information from human rights activists' private accounts. And for quite a long time, Google tried to quit censorship on the information on the internet. But so finally, they got to the point they would not take it any longer. So they decided to just give up censorship and direct the Chinese netizens who get on Google searching to Hong Kong, where the censorship is much less. So we're still waiting to see what is going to happen to Google. But Google's slogan is do no more evil. That's just another example to show foreign business, although you cooperate with the Chinese government for the opportunities of making money in China, eventually you will sacrifice too much. You will sacrifice not only morally, but economically. You will sacrifice so much that you would not continue to do business with China. So I think that single event told us that the one-party system is good for economic growth, and China is the best place for investment. This is just a lie. This is just an image the Chinese government has built up to cheat the outside world. We have many audiences. The first group we target is the citizens of the powerless China. I talked about two Chinas. I said there's another China consists of 1 billion Chinese people, the powerless people. That's the first group we target with our message. Because if those citizens do not want democracy, they do not demand for freedom and human rights, we cannot get anything. So democracy must be homegrown. When we talk about homegrown, it is these people that will initiate the movement. So they are the target for our message. They are the audience of message. But of course, we cannot just ignore the elites in China, because I think they understand what democracy means to the future of China. And the concept of democracy prevails in the mind of everyone. They don't do anything simply because they are bound by privileges and interests provided by the Chinese government. They don't just want to lose these privileges. So when times comes, people don't have to debate in their mind which is better, democracy or dictatorship. I think that judgment has already finished in everybody's mind. So we have to continue to get our message to Chinese elite. That's another audience we have to speak to. And still another audience is the international community. Because China is open to the outside world. And China cannot live without our international community. They, to a certain degree, succumb to the pressure from the international community. So we have to educate the international community that Chinese people demand democracy and human rights. Not just like many people say and believe that Chinese people do not want freedom. And we have to mobilize the human rights activists in the world, and also democratic government to come to our support, and which is very important. I always say there are a few factors that will help shape China: the citizen power, the party's internal politics, and international support, and ethnic relationship, and Taiwan, mainland China relationship, and the religious groups relationship. These are the major factors that will shape the future of China. So international community is very important. The support can be very critical at a tipping point.